gamers! Hey, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. Listen, Thursday is the Sobrevivencia pop-up session number 2, and the theme is magical motion. So I want to talk about that today and answer questions on that, because we're getting in more questions that we can get to in a timely fashion. So video a lot easier to go ahead and address those. If you're here for the first time, you don't know what this is about, I want you to avail yourself of free resources. The most important one, the no-cost Cane Clarity Call. Just text the letter CCC to the number on the screen. In less than 24 hours, we will be in a phone call with you answering all your questions about canes, the cane culture, more importantly, how to get cane trained, and this thing that you're learning about, Sobrevivencia, right? Especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. You're no longer this youngest, strongest, fastest, but we still need to win, right? And we would define that for you. And then look in the description, because you have groups, private Facebook groups that are open to the general public. All you have to do is request entry and they will let you right in. Magical motion. What that whole idea of magical movement pretty much stems from the founder. If you've ever trained with him in an immersion and you've come at him, you find that he positions himself in such a way where he didn't get hit. He's close enough, maybe he's countering you, but also at the same time, you feel kind of stuck when you're going to do your follow-up move. He's jamming you, that kind of thing that looks so effortless. It looks smooth. What is that all about? Where does that come from? Because that is exactly what I will personally be showing you how to do, giving you a template and drills and demonstrating application this Thursday. You still have an opportunity to get in. Listen, this pop-up, I love pop-up sessions, because if you're watching us for the first time, you're not familiar with what we do, how our classes are, your sessions via Zoom, the community. The pop-up session is, it's not going to break the bank. You're just paying for a lesson. And best of all, you get to keep the recording. Now, I've said this so many times. When you get to keep the recording, that automatically, that's a no-brainer for me, because I can reference it over and over and watch it anytime. So let me get right to, there's 3 components to what we refer to as magical motion in Sobrevivencia. The first one, obviously, is you're removing the opportunity for that assailant to do what he has planned to do, right? So a predator, somebody who's up to no good, targets you. He's been observing you. He needs to get within a certain range to strike. Your ability, whether he's been planning this or this is something that just started brewing, you accidentally bumped into somebody, and then this becomes, and there is an altercation, and it's everything is preceded by verbals, and then there's your ability to read in the same way that you read a book. You can read those pre-attack indicators, and then your response strategically, you position yourself away. It's so difficult to hit that moving target. Look at boxing, right? Those, the ones who, they're not boxing purists, they're not, they just want to see a good slugfest back and forth that demonstrates courage and who can take a punch and hit. The science of boxing, for the purists, it's to hit and not get hit. You hear a lot of complaining from fans that say that individual was running the whole night. Well, did he hit you more than you hit him with all that running? Was it just running, or did he stop and counter you? And that's, one example of how frustrating it is for someone who's trying to target you and you're just not there. You are preventing things from escalating, and prevention is invisible. You will never truly know the mess that you are going to get into if you apply those principles and you're just not there for it. You have a way of just being out of range. Why? Because that criminal probably has experience. You're not the first one that he's, tried to hit and, knocked out just to take their wallet, for example. So the first one is It's a way of shutting down, if you will, that criminal's intent. Just, he can't carry out the plan. There's tremendous value in it. That's one way that you win. There's a way of doing that, right? It's built into a response system. Sobrevivencia has it's based on 3 different responses, right? And I'll be covering that template. Number 2 is the ability to get, not just when you can't move, right? If you can't get out of here and create this distance, and now you have to deal with this, the idea is to not be on the receiving end of that strike. And if it's a grab, how do you do that? How do you stay on your feet? Because obviously, if you're in your 60s, 70s, you don't want to have to be going to the floor, right? We show you, how to handle things, but how to maintain that balance, what you want to look for, and that initial movement, how to position yourself in a safe place that creates leverage so that you can counter and control the situation. Control this. When you have the ability to control the situation, you have options, right? If you just pull a firearm on somebody and you pull the trigger, hey, there's only so much de-escalating that you can do there. That's not built into that response per se, right? When you have a skill set in place, you can remove yourself, get to a safe place, respond, counter, control. That gives you other options, right? Where you don't always have to destroy that other individual and get yourself in a heap with the law. Because as the founder always says, hey, that's just your first battle. Now typically will ensue a battle in the courtroom, because you live in a society that's governed by laws, right? And so we're keeping that in mind as well. So that's the second one. That's what you hear all the time. Well, I attacked and then wasn't there, and then I go to move and I'm jammed and there's no follow-up. It makes it very difficult. That requires a skill as well. We're going to be covering that. And then this third component that we're looking is that when you have mastered this motion, this SV motion, now you have a way of magnifying your shots, okay? That's what allows you to not be the strongest anymore or the fastest, but your timing is in such a way, and the opponent's guard, he's just not expecting. The most effective strikes tend to be the ones that the opponent does not see coming. It's the one he runs into. It's kind of like if you're riding your bike and something catches your attention, boom, and you just, that's a tough one, right? You think the door's locked, so you come in hard and the door's open, boom, and you run into something. That magnifies the effect. That is Sobrevivencia footwork. When you put it all together, you get to practice it in drills and in a template that also train your body in a gentle way, improving your circulation, your lymphatic flow, all these. We don't make medical claims. Your joints, right? The only thing we say is that when you move the way that we teach you how to move, good and positive things happen. Yes, with your wellness, with your health, with your functionality. So these movements work with your body. If you have injuries, if you have limitations, this is what you want. The opposite of that would be movements that tear down your body, especially at this stage. So if you have any questions, you have a landing page there. Look at it in the description. Just click, it's $50 to register and you get to keep that for life. But also read the description there. And if this video or the landing page, if you still have questions, then reach out and give us a call at the headquarters. We're at 800-289-8188. But do this quickly because we're closing out. Obviously, it's on Thursday. And so that's that. All right. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.